I'm still in my first week with my brand new Chevy Silverado. There are a few settings I've already changed that I thought I would share with everyone that you might also want to change if you're driving a brand new Chevy vehicle. My new Chevy is a 2022 refreshed Chevy Silverado LT Trail Boss, but I'm guessing a lot of the newer vehicles that Chevy are making will have similar features to this. Here's the first one. This is the rear seat reminder. This is a thing that will beep anytime I believe you've opened the back door and closed it and then got in the front seat, drove for a while, and then turned off your engine. It'll remind you to check your back seat. This could be a useful feature, or is a useful feature perhaps if you have a pet or young children that need help in and out of the back of your vehicle. For me, our family doesn't have any pets, and my kids are old enough now to get in and out on their own. So this is a setting that's not very useful to me, so I turned it off. Most of the vehicle settings can only be changed if the vehicle is actually on. So you go to Settings, Vehicle, and then you can see the rear seat reminder was on by default, and then I turned it off. It is right next to the next setting I was going to talk about, which is Buckle to Drive, which can be turned off right below it. And just note that for any of these settings where you toggle, you can actually click on them to get more details. So Buckle to Drive is a feature that when on, you cannot shift out of park until you buckle up. Although I do believe there is a 30-second delay, perhaps. Yeah, I think it's 20 or 30-second delay that it will allow you to afterwards. The main reason I don't like the buckle before you can shift into gear is there's often times you may need to jump in and out of the vehicle really quickly. When I first got my truck, we hadn't paired the garage door opener yet, so oftentimes I'd pull up to the door, have to jump out, punch in a code to open the door, and then jump back in to pull forward, and I'd have to rebuckle. Or backing out, I'd have to jump out to shut the door, and I couldn't even back out without buckling. Also, when like hitching up our camper, which we haven't done yet, but a lot of times with the Traverse, you'll have to move it just a little bit to get the trailer to drop onto the hitch ball, and I didn't want to have to be buckling all the time for those little adjustments. I do believe in wearing seat belts. You absolutely should. They save lives. I grew up wearing seat belts. We always wear them as a family. So I didn't really feel like I needed to be reminded to wear my seatbelt, and that's the main reason why I was comfortable turning it off. So make sure you're comfortable turning it off before you make that change. Another setting to change is the maximum volume at startup. So under Settings and then Sounds, you can set a maximum volume at startup. This is really nice in case, you know, the evening before you might have the music loud, and then you jump in your vehicle in the morning. Instead of getting blown away, you can have it set to a maximum allowed volume. This next one, you do not need the vehicle on. This is an app that is installed by default, at least it was for me, called myChevrolet. If you click here and then log into your myChevrolet app, there'll be a few options, but the one I want to call out specifically is all the way on the right, called the Owner's Manual. So this has built in the entire Owner's Manual, where you can go through all the different categories and learn anything you want to know about this vehicle. And one of the really nice things is you can actually search it by hitting this magnifying glass. And you can even speech to text, garage door opener. So this was something I used when I set up my programming for my garage door opener. And instead of looking through the manual, you actually can read it on right here, and it'll show you everything you need to do to be able to pair the garage door opener with your vehicle. This is just one example, but you can pretty much search up anything here, and it even remembers previous stuff that you've looked at. There is a handy button down here below the touchscreen that opens all windows. So all 4 windows just went down. It doesn't put them back up, so I do need to manually put them up over here. But the setting I want to talk about is actually so that you can also do this from the key fob. So if I go back home and into Settings, and then I believe it is Vehicle, and then Remote, Lock, Unlock, and Start. At least with my car, when I got it, remote window operation was off by default, so you want to turn that on. Okay, let's test it out. I should just have to hold in the unlock button. And it worked. The last thing I'm going to talk about is the auto start stop feature. So if I turn on my vehicle, this button right here is the auto start stop, which basically can turn off the engine when you're at stop signs. I know that a lot of people don't like this feature. It is on by default. After you turn the vehicle on, you can turn it off. As far as I know, there is no setting to have that off by default, and I believe the reason is that Chevy had that on for when it determined how many miles per gallon the vehicle gets, and since they had that on, they have to have it on by default whenever you start your vehicle. I don't mind that feature, but I know a lot of people don't like it. One suggestion would be just to kind of get in a habit of when you start your vehicle, the next thing you do is just touch that and then it will be off. I don't know of anything quicker or easier to do than that. So that's just a few of the settings I've played around with in the first week I've had the truck. If there's other stuff you want to see, or if you have things I should try, please leave me a comment. Please give the video a like, and thanks for watching.